everyone. Welcome to this month's topic. And we were talking about second career for our mobilization newsletter. I have Dave and Joanne Arndt, and they are global volunteers. Here's a couple that has such a heart, especially for next gen, but mainly to be on mission with God. So first, before we start, Dave and Joanne, can you introduce yourselves?
Well, I'm Joanne Arndt.
And I'm Dave. I worked in construction, but that wasn't my heart and my passion. My passion was to be on mission, and that started 34 years ago from our church in Waterloo Pentecostal, where a mission group came and had a plea for rebuilding after Hurricane Hugo on Montserrat. I felt led to go, and that was the beginning. We've done missions throughout Central South America, 34 years, and mostly short term. Coming up to retirement, we both had discussed that we wanted to do missions in retirement, but weren't quite sure how that was going to look. So 3 or 4 years before retirement, I went on a mission to Peru, and so that was an amazing mission. We went out and did work on the streets with the homeless, got to witness to some of them, and one that I remember, one lady that we met, she told us her story, and then I shared about God's love and how his son had died for her, and she didn't quite understand, so I explained it to her. And when I was finished, she said, oh yeah, and she was so excited, she couldn't wait to finish, wanted to give her heart to Christ. And after we'd done that, she looked at me and she said, but why did you wait so long to come and tell me this good news? And that really hit me hard.
And I think for me, we're married 50 years. So my career for so many years was to be a wife. We have 3 boys. And so my life revolved around my family. I really realized that I thought I didn't have a career like David and other people. But the amazing thing our Heavenly Father revealed to me was that if I was willing, he would use me. For me, it's to pray with people. I seem to have a discernment to know, and I can see if there's a need. David helps me with that because, like sometimes I'll say, oh, and he'll say, well, we'll go together and we'll do it. We'll help them. It's just really amazing. But the thing I think that we need to know, all need to know, if we are willing to serve, God will use us. We just have to sometimes step out of that canoe.
One day we were asked to go up and pray for some of the people and we went and prayed for them, and she said, but I don't understand the language. And
I didn't understand a word that those ladies were praying, but God spoke to me. And I thought, Lord, if you can do that for me, I can do that for others. Even though the language barrier, you are going to be their interpreter. And I have seen that, Dave and I have seen that over and over again. When people will say, how did you know? And I say, I didn't. It's God speaking through me. That changed me. Yeah. The insecurity left.
For those of you who don't know, they are in Thailand. And can you share what you do?
When we finished our courses at PAOC, they asked us, would we consider Cambodia or Thailand? And so we asked them to pray for us, with us. We would pray, we would have people pray. Lo and behold, we met with Zach Wiley from Thailand. Right from the very first Zoom, we felt a connection. We said yes, but we really had no idea where we were going. We went up to our room where the world map was, and we said, oh my goodness, we're halfway around the world. But you know what? It has been such a blessing. Scary, but the thing is, God has given us a peace.
We're partnered with 4 or 5 different partners in Bangkok. One of them is Chulalong University. They have a Bible club there, which I connect with weekly. I go for lunch. We meet for lunch every Thursday with the students. And it's funny, we're sitting around the table eating lunch, and I'll always say, we'll leave a couple chairs empty. And they'll say, oh, did you invite somebody? And I'll say, no, but somebody will come along and we'll get to share with them. And it's amazing how many times somebody does. There's not enough room to sit, or they hear what we're talking about and want to join in. And then we do Monday and Tuesday nights were Bible studies. One was for Thai students, the other was for the international. And it's amazing. It's grown from 25 students to 173. We're like the grandpa and grandma or the mom and dad. We live in a student Christian center.
God orchestrated for Dave and I to have a 2-bedroom apartment. The age that we are with is between 16 and maybe 35. These students are just so precious to Dave and I, and we just love them. When they talk about Dave and Joanne's apartment, it's a place where you get lots of love, lots of hugs, and lots of good snacks and food. You know, God has given us opportunities to, we do a lot of mentoring, a lot of just encouraging them, praying for them, even though so many of them are not Christian. They want to be you to pray with them. I had an opportunity with a girl. She was down on the campus, and I just wanted to go over and say hi. And when I went over, I could see that there was something definitely wrong. She had such fear in her eyes. She was so distraught. And so I asked her. She just said, "Oh, I'm just so afraid. I'm so scared." And I said to her, "Well, can I pray with you?" And so she said, "Okay." And I just got close to her. And when I finished praying, I opened my eyes, and her t-shirt was just soaked with tears from running down her face. And I said to her, "You know, I would just love to give you a hug." And within a second, that girl was on my knees, because we were sitting on chairs, and her head was on my shoulder, and she was sobbing from her tummy. And I thought, well, the only thing I know to do is pray. And so I prayed with her until the sobbing wasn't so bad. And she looked at me and she said, "Joanne, you know, I have never been hugged." And I had said to her in my prayer that, you know, I loved her, but God loved her that much more. And she said, "You know, Joanne, I've never been told I'm loved. I've never been told that." She said, my mother has never told me that she loved me, and I've never been hugged." And at that time, I thought, Lord, if that's the only reason why you have me in Thailand is to give this girl a hug and tell her that I love her, but you love her more, it's worth it all.
I think it could be scary for an older couple or an older individual to help out with the next gen, with young adults, because we have some ideas, but really they're looking for a mom and dad. How often do you go to Thailand? Do you go every year? Do you go every other year? And then after, just one quick tip from each one of you.
Well, this was our 3rd year going to Thailand, and we're preparing to go for our 4th year. So we usually leave around the 27th of December. The one thing that Dave and I have asked is that God would let us be home for Christmas. So we usually leave around the 27th of December, and we are there for 5 months. I think one tip is that we need to be flexible. Sometimes we go with an agenda, and we think that we are going to change them and make them want our Western ways. We're there to walk alongside them and to be there, just be God's hand extended.
I think the other thing is it's not so scary to do with the next gen. What it is like you said, they just want relationship.
Yeah.
They want a mom and dad or a grandpa and a grandma, especially in Thailand is really critical. And so it's not difficult. It's about building relationship. It's fairly easy to do. All you need is to be personable and out there and making connections.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this month's newsletter video with Dave and Joanne Arndt. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Dave and Joanne. If you would like, people could reach out to you and just even have the conversations about what does it look like. So if you have any questions, I'm sure they would love for you to reach out to them and talk with them too.